Здравейте и добре дошли на следващия епизод на The Good, The Bad and The Twisted, подкастът на Twisted JIU JITSU, и всички се оглеждат в момента, но всъщност аз съм зад кадър. Гостува ни Габриел Марангони. And we'll be switching to English so we can understand each other. No, please. No, stick to the scenario.
Yes, this is the so-called Marangoni boy, Gabriel Marangoni, our very good friend, and he accepted our invitation.
Yeah, we will basically invite people so that...
Yes, if they pay us, we're going to invite as many as possible.
So just be sure that our English is really bad.
Yeah, by the way, last time Marangoni was on my podcast, this was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was at my home and on the sofa, like your episode, Bobby. And now he's entering this totally brand new studio.
It's amazing. It's a props to George. Yeah, you try to open this box.
The one that opens? Or?
My podcast skills become better, but my jiu-jitsu skills are crap anyway.
So welcome back. It's your, I think, fifth or sixth time in Bulgaria.
I really lost count.
Yes.
I think so.
Probably most of people know something, or at least a little bit about you. But
this is my name.
You can say your name, you can say how many times you've been here when it's your first time coming. And so we can start with the
basic
unpleasant questions.
Okay, my name is Gabriel Marangoni de Oliveira. I'm from a city called Mogi das Cruzes in São Paulo, Brazil. And like you said, is my, I don't know, 5th, 6th, 7th time.
When is the first time you came in Bulgaria?
First time was back in 2012.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was living in Greece back then.
Really?
Yeah, I lived there for 6 months, and then I competed in Romania for the ADCC Trials.
Yeah.
And
this guy is still looking for you.
Right?
You beat.
The guy from my semi-final. Yeah. Oh man, that was crazy. But yeah,
that's an interesting story, but maybe later.
Yeah, but then people should or must try to check it out and find what we are talking about, because no one probably knows.
Yeah, and then on that tournament, I met another Bulgarian guy, and he was traveling here, and he was like, "Oh, we're starting a camp tomorrow with Rodrigo Cavaca," and back then Cavaca was my coach, and I was like, "No way, Cavaca is my coach," and the guy was like, "Why don't you join me then and travel to Bulgaria with me?" And I didn't even know him. And I was like, why not? Let's go. And then I came with
him. It's a normal thing. You just go for tournaments.
Eastern and then Europe, come over here in this country. Why not?
A lot of people are doing that in Middle East as well, and they
people
disappear.
Sometimes end up missing. Sometimes they have a good time.
I mean, I'm here, so everything went all right. But it could have been really bad.
Okay, so, and you come here without Cavaca knowing you're here? It's the first time I'm hearing this story.
Yeah, he didn't know that.
And he, look at this guy, I know this guy.
And funny thing is, he was about to start a camp, I think, Sunday evening, and his flight got delayed, so he wasn't there for the first class. But then I contacted him, and then he knew that I was going to be there, and he was like, "Oh, well, start the camp for me then." And then I started the first class without him, and the day after he got there, so everything went all right, and we spent the week together.
Nice. And then after that, they invited you, or you stayed forever?
After that, Cavaca actually invited me. He was like, "Look, we have this affiliate here. If you would like to come and like spend some time with them." And then,
but
13,
it's still Checkmate, or it's already a Zenit?
He was already Zenit.
Oh, okay, so because before that, the school you're talking about, it was Checkmate.
Yeah.
And before that, they were Gracie Humaita.
Really?
Yes, and before that, they were something new. Different. Yeah.
Before that, no.
Yeah. Before that, they
just play.
Yeah, with a lot of things. Okay, so and you stay here for.
So 2013, I came like official, let's say, to stay a little longer, and I spent, I think, 3 or 4 months.
Yes, and probably this is the time to share our best thing about today's podcast. Probably people will be listening after few months because of Georgie, but But
Yeah,
Professionalism.
George is here, guys.
okay. I forgot about.
man.
sorry. I'm talking about someone else.
Another George.
But Gabriel Marangoni is coming to Bulgaria for 6 months, at least 6 months.
Announcement.
Announcement. Now he's going back to States, checking checking the things, taking some bags, and then he's coming for 6
Personal
months
belongings.
to help us develop much more. So it's gonna be interesting
To the
months.
universe.
Maybe,
Yeah.
but he won't pick berries. Right?
No berries.
No
just
berries,
just
I mean,
selling
it
vegetables.
depends if selling vegetables, the ones you don't eat.
Yeah, because
My
you're not
spare
eating.
time.
You have to start eating vegetables. You know.
I only eat when I'm alone, you know.
Okay,
That's why.
and only on pizza, right?
When are we telling the story how you guys met?
You know, the
that's-
first time I've met
We
him.
never, you never
He
told
was in the
story,
same
right?
academy. He went to watch one of my classes, I think.
No,
No,
Yeah.
that was the
no,
next
no.
year.
I've never trained with you.
You did.
No, I trained
As
No,
like a
that's-
blue.
that's
3
the
years
next year.
later. In your last seminar there was
really?
about leg walks, and it
I
was in
I was there also, right?
2016. Yes, we were
Yeah,
together.
Why don't you
Before
remember
16.
me? What the fuck?
2000.
It was before 16. I'm
Mm.
sure about that. Because 16 we went to Caio's
Okay, but it
seminar
was before the Europeans in January. So your seminar was either before New Year's Eve or after New Year's Eve, but it was a week before the Europeans. So I think it
Really?
was 16.
Okay, so what happened? You basically said, "Hi, I'm from Bulgaria."
No,
That's
no,
a starter?
No.
He
No,
tried
actually,
to date me.
my first the first time I met him was at one tournament in 88 school, which was Bukido.
What, Serbia? Was it Serbia?
Sorry?
Was it Serbia?
No, it was here in
Was here.
Sofia. And it was Bukido challenge, I think 2 or 3, I don't know exactly which one.
Which year
And
is
he
that?
was,
Which year?
2012, 13, the year he came staying
13
here.
or yeah, I think it was 13. Yeah.
And it was something like November, late October, November, or beginning of December, something like that. So probably it's 13. And they brought him because the club he was teaching at that point, they brought him to the tournament, which it's like a small tournament with, let's say, most of the level was a little bit around blue belt. Let's say
but
like this.
People were jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were basically
And-
one belt
The
above.
only
Bla-
thing they
blue
were
belt-
not
blue-
drinking
blue and
was
purple.
water back
Huh?
then.
Sorry?
The only thing they weren't drinking was water. Everything else they were.
Yeah, and cereal. Some cereal.
Uh-huh.
Sponsor time.
So they brought him to the competition in order to show who is gonna be there for 3-6 months, whatever.
So basically, what we're doing
And
now.
he was the category below. I was at 76, I think, and he was like 70.
66.
70 kilo was the
Oh, so
category.
you ate the whole night, so you wouldn't be in his category.
I don't know. I was
Luckily,
thinking,
won't.
just give me that boy to smash.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Who
That is-
cares, brother?
Brazilian
Who
brother.
cares, brother? Just smash.
show me pressure. And he went out on the first match. He did a flying triangle for 5 seconds to the guy. And on the second match, he did like some kind of
Banana split.
no, it was like the match wasn't more than 15 seconds, something like that. You did 2 matches, and it was, to be honest, people didn't understand how good you are, especially compared
That's
to the-
lucky shot. That's a lucky
Yes,
shot. man.
exactly what
That's a lucky
I'm trying
flying
to say.
triangle.
People were thinking that it was lucky, you know,
He
and it was
basically fell into a triangle, you know.
because you had 2 matches. I also competed, but in the category above, I won 4 matches, and it's like, oh yeah, but it's a small category. I say, come on, guy. This guy submitted both of his matches for 15 seconds, and you're talking he's not good. What the fuck? I mean, how you're so stupid. So yeah, this is my first actually time I saw him, and then after 2-3 years, at this leg walk seminar right before the Europeans, because my documents.
I just remember one of the techniques he showed in that seminar. I still do this this day.
There's some knee bars. There's some knee
Yeah,
bars.
yeah, the knee bar from the
And there were even knee bar when he steps back in order to take your back and you just pull the leg and you fall
That's
down.
the only one I still remember
Man,
and I
that's-
still use it.
But
All the others-
don't tell people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like our secret.
This is the best
I
technique.
mean, the other ones, they don't even work. It's
Okay,
just for
nice.
the reels.
Of course.
Yes. So I went to the Europeans, even though my documents weren't fulfilled because our previous teacher wasn't IBJJF approved, I think. So
Friendly.
I was preparing myself to compete, but until the end, he didn't sign my documents. And also another funny story about this moment is that I tried to sign up the documents by Ricardo de la Riva, by himself, so I can be approved and go, and they abandoned me.
No, that banned you.
Banned me.
They
yeah.
banned you.
Banned me, yeah.
You know, I used to be De La Riva as well when I
Huh?
started. When I started, I was also De La Riva.
Oh man, we're like a same destiny.
Like sisters. man.
We're like
That's
a Turkish Syria.
Sisters.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So
amazing.
this is the period,
How do you
and
say
also,
sister in Bulgarian? I don't know.
Huh?
Sister.
Sister.
yeah,
We're like sister.
it's like brat. Yeah, sister, brat. Yeah. So I went to.
Wait. We need to we need to repeat it. He said, "We're like sestra brat."
Yes, he said that.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Okay.
Pay
highlighting.
attention, John.
Pay attention,
Pay
boy.
attention. In a few months, when we
If
let the seminar.
you know, once I was in San Francisco with a class with Kurt Osiander, and this is the moment he's gonna say, "Shut the fuck up, you blue belt."
Why does he's going to show his middle finger, which looks like this from all the geese?
It's
Yeah.
like the refs
And then-
scoring 3 points.
Yeah.
And then at
What
the
is
end of the
wrong with
pod,
you?
And then I met him in Lisboa at
That's the
Kyle's,
story I'm talking about.
the Kyle's seminar. So it's like, it was very funny. I decided to attend the seminar there. It was about 50-50. And
I learned how to play 50-50. I still kind of don't know, but that's all I
Really?
know from that seminar.
You
yeah.
think so? No. But it was an interesting seminar.
Wait,
The only problem was that
wait. Don't speak now. Wait, I need to know the truth. Was Caio speaking in English in that seminar or not?
Man, I don't remember. Was it?
I think Caio said that what you're saying is not true.
no,
that
I'm
he was
gonna say
speaking
I'm
in
gonna
English.
remind him. He's gonna say it true or not.
Okay, go.
Caio entered. It was about around 60 people at the seminar in Gracie, Lisboa, in the tiny place, right? And he just won his European. I think it was the first time he competed at Master One,
yeah.
and he competed while he was correcting
Fixing
his
the hair.
hairstyle. And he said, "Okay, guys, so
And he got
in
hurt.
English,
His ribs on
my rib is hurt, so I can't row with you, and the seminar is gonna be about 50-50. But if you want, I can still pass everyone's 50-50 in this room right away. But because most of the people are Portuguese speakers, I'm gonna switch to Portuguese. You remember this? Is this right or not?"
I remember that.
So it was like, who is speaking English? And like 10 people raised their hand together with me. And he said, "Okay, I'm gonna teach the seminar in Portuguese."
Okay, fuck you guys.
And I was, oh, fuck. So
But
this is the
luckily,
moment.
we're
Luckily, I
paired
saw
up, yeah.
him and he was right next to me and said, "Can I pair with you?"
Sister, you're my brother. Come on.
No, the funny was that when he saw me, last week we were on his seminar, he said, "Oh, yes, I'm going to drill with you." So it was like a bless, you know? And
No, but
he-
you're also the only person I knew there.
yes, exactly the same. So Kai was explaining in Portuguese and he was translating, but sometimes it was so fast. Kai was changing so fast that I can't even
can't catch up.
understand what he's doing. And when Kai is coming, Gabriel is asking questions to him in Portuguese and he
And
is
you're
answering
connecting
in
the dots.
Portuguese. And then I'm asking in English something and he's like watching me like this and he's turning to Gabriel. What? And he's translating
And
Man.
he still do that nowadays, you know? He
Oh,
still do
that's
that.
amazing.
Yeah, and I don't know why. It's just because
Man,
he's not paying attention. I think.
That's the mark of a sensei.
Oh man, it was so crazy.
You don't
yeah.
deal with that kind of
And,
people.
and
you know?
then, and
What?
then at the end of seminar, Gabriel said, "Hey bro, can we go and have a dinner together? You know, I'm alone here." I said, "Okay, we're gonna take the metro and gonna go a very good restaurant next to my hotel and take my wife because my wife was together with me. And he said, yeah, okay. And then after 5 minutes, he came and he said, bro, I have to go to dinner with Kyle because, you know, I have some stuff to discuss with him. So fuck you.
You know, grab your wife and have dinner with her.
Yeah.
You just
And
stay in the
because
hotel, man.
I was waiting for him to finish the chat with Kyle. It became so late that I was forced to eat Pizza Hut. I remember it still today.
Do you think that's one of the
Pizza Hut was
reasons?
good.
One of the reasons that we eventually joined Karate Association.
What you mean?
Maybe it's the stars aligning.
No,
stuff like
no.
that.
I think of course I talked with Gabriel in 2017 about the situation. Late 2016, I talked to him because this was the period we started discussing what we're gonna do. And he said CTA is very good. I think Kyle is one of the best, and they're very friendly. You just have to talk with Kyle and Nick, and that was his.
I actually remember that's the first time I ever heard that when a school wants to join in the association, they put you in a chat together with everyone else, and
That's the first time I saw that
I
happening.
never heard that.
I'm not sure he went to do. To
I
this
didn't, but I
yeah,
know
but he
that
was
it
kind
is.
of competitor, and it was
Yeah, that's
different.
different. Yeah, but
And Kyle,
Either
I
way,
think most
no,
of the period for
initially,
Brazilians, he's not doing it.
Yeah, and initially I was the only one joining CTA because like that was the year that I went to US for the very first time because I won a trials in Brazil because back then I didn't have like the financial to travel to US. Then I won a trials and the Federation of São Paulo paid everything. But it was for Pan Ams. And I was like, okay, Pan Ams is nice, but I want to compete at Worlds. And before that,
Is this the first time you competed Worlds?
first time, yeah,
Oh, really?
in IBJJF. I never fought like as a color belt.
Oh my God! Really?
Before
I
that
didn't know
was
that.
only like different federations and confederations and etc.
Yeah.
And then me and my brother, we were like, where am I gonna train? Where am I gonna stay? Because before, like the Mendes were still competing, Cobrinha was still competing, and I was like, if I go to one of these clubs, I'm gonna have to open up if I cross path with them. Like if I face like half a quarterfinals or whatever, I'm gonna have to open for them, you know. And I was like, I still feel like I have a shot, so I don't want to like open for someone. I want to try to get.
So for
like,
people to clarify, it means you're gonna give them the win.
yeah. And then me and my brother were discussing about like where should I go? Like where would be a good place? And then we thought about Caius. And before that, I didn't know him personally. I only knew by videos and and that's when I met him at the Europeans at that seminar. That's why we went to dinner. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
left you with Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
that was the first time you met Kyle.
Yeah, in person, yes.
Yeah.
And then that was also the first year, the first time I went to US. And I changed my flight back to stay from Pan Am's and to Worlds at in California. And then Kai opened the doors of his academy, and I stayed like living inside the gym for 3 months. And initially he was like, well, you gotta compete at CTA because my brother is in your division. Vitor Pascoal, which is another instructor of mine, is also in your division. So if you go as Marangoni Academy, you might face them before quarterfinals or so. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'm training with you. I'm gonna go at CTA. But I was the only one. And then when I went back to Brazil after 3 months, I talked to my brother and I was like, man, he helped me a lot. He did a lot. We should switch teams. Like
He
instead
never
of-
asked something from
No,
you.
he never asked. He only asked for me to compete at CTA because of the situation, because of his brother and his student. But I decided to become CTA because of everything he did to me. So when I went back to Brazil, I talked to my brother and we're like, we should switch like our academy. Like till nowadays, the name of my academy is Academia Marangoni, but representative of Caio. So if we're competing or our students are competing, no matter where in Brazil or out, we always represent CTA, So
Okay.
that's how everything started.
Yeah, that's so probably this is the moment we want to move the conversation in. You started very young, like a kid, right?
14 years old.
14 years old, yeah, almost a teenager. And since 2000 and how many years you've been black belt? It's like
13.
13 years. So one more year, you're going to be a 4th degree, right?
Next year.
So you've been training for a lot of time, like 20 years.
20, yeah.
But you passed on, as we discussed, you were initially some kind of checkmate,
Mhm.
and then Zenith, and then you were
Under
next
my
to
own academy.
yes, but you were close to very big names in this generation, right?
Mhm.
You were together with one of the biggest names in the history of jiu-jitsu, especially in the probably they were before you competing and gaining more experience, but still you were in one generation, right? It's not a big difference, age difference. Still, when you move to CTA and when you move to CAIO, because now you're living almost 3-4 years,
2.5.
2.5 years you've been living and training in CTA HQ, and you are running one of the schools for CAIO in Palo Alto. So there was what changed with you in everything when you start training with CAIO, like technically, mentally. What is the difference to compared to the other coaches you had? And I'm not trying to say, this is the best choice. I'm just trying to see the perspective, because basically most of the students who are listening to this podcast are our students, and we are CAIO's students. So another perspective is going to be very interesting, especially from someone like you.
Like I can say that a lot has changed. Like it is more professional training there, learning from him, learning the curriculum as well. Because when I got there, I already had like my jiu-jitsu, my way of teaching, my way of training, my way of approaching the techniques, but I had to learn the curriculum, like CTA, B, C, the way he teaches, the way he applies the techniques. So a lot has changed in my game, a lot has changed in my jiu-jitsu. I think I got like more committed with the thing as well. So my way of teaching changed a lot, and the club itself, the academy itself, has, I would say, like more professional fighters. So you get to be into that environment every day. So it brings you up, because like when you're with someone that is like a higher level than you, will always bring you with them, So it feels good to train with them, feels good to learn every day. And like a lot of things from my jiu-jitsu, I thought I knew and I thought I was doing them well. And Professor Kyle was always like fixing them, was always like looking and like, no, you shouldn't do like this, you should do like this. And the thing is, everything that he says makes sense. It's not like, this is bullshit, or like, why would I do it like this? No, it makes sense. It is better, And the way that he built the curriculum, it's like, it is truly for everyone. It's not like, I'll teach a technique that only works for flexible people or only works for stronger people. No, it works for everyone. So like when we teach a class there, everyone can do that. Like everyone can do pretty much the whole curriculum, So I've learned how to like build a program and run a program and have the responsibility to deal with all that in a better way than I used to have before moving there.
What about the jiu-jitsu perspective? Does it change somehow?
In which way would you say?
Like you said, he improved some of the positions, but in general, like the way you look in jiu-jitsu, not by teaching it, the way you playing. I can say you play differently because I train with you, not as much as I wanted to, but I can say
Probably enough. From the last time we talked about it.
yeah, probably
That's
enough for me.
for this time.
But I didn't train enough for for our students.
Ah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so I trained with you, and before it was It was equal. I was almost yeah.
You just
And
needed
now
some
you
luck,
improved
some
so
luck,
much.
man.
You know, you improved so much. No,
No. That's the moment to say, I think you also learned a lot from me, and I learned from you.
yes, and
That's
I
it.
think
Let's leave it
I
like
think
that.
we're equal
And then we
because
cut.
yeah. No, like you move differently, you know. But is it like something it happened because of the techniques, or you started doing it because you say, oh, I see this is the proper way, so I have to learn it now and drill it now, and then I can start doing it.
I think now I have more resources than before. I would say, I would put it that way. You know, like before, I think my game was a little more limited. That's why I was like holding more positions, because I was like afraid of losing positions and stuff. Now I like kind of feel more comfortable no matter where I go, so I kind of flow a little more. I'm still
Yeah.
using a kind of a lot of strength.
No,
But I'm like-
you're very strong for sure, but the way the moments like you see someone is trying to avoid or stop you, you change right away. Before it was like you hold and you're trying to get the person tired, and then you continue. Now it's like a constant change, and sometimes it's after you tire the position and then you change, or you change right away. So it's a completely different way you play.
I think before I was kind of forcing a little more things to happen, and now I find a way of like counter the things, you know. Because what Professor Kyle says, like, don't force jiu-jitsu. Like if you're forcing, you're doing something wrong. So try to go with the flow, like check what is available, what they're giving to you, and then you fight with what they're giving, and not properly with what you wanted. So sometimes I want something, but you're kind of not giving to me. Before I was kind of forcing, like, no, you're going to give me this because that's what I want. And I was like fighting for that and insisting on something, like persisting a little too much. And now I kind of like realize that, like, okay, I have different ways to reach to the same final destination, let's say.
Do you think if you started training with him earlier, it's going to be much more successful for you as a competitor? I mean, in adult division, because you're now 2 times no-gi world champion, Master 1, right? You won Europeans as an adult.
Yeah.
You placed second at Master Worlds, Master 1, and you actually lost with like a very close match. What else? You won pants?
Nogi pants.
Nogi pants, Master 1. So like Master 1, you won, like, let's say almost everything besides the Worlds, but probably you're gonna do it one day or another. But do you think that if you started earlier training and being there with someone like Kyle, it's gonna be much more successful for you?
For sure would be not just training under his guidance, but also in an environment like that. Because before you should train, like, I trained my whole life with my brother, who like built my jiu-jitsu, like taught everything that I know, but only with him and with my students. So my brother was the only like higher level for me to train. Everyone else was like white, blues, purples, you know. And then now we do have like a bunch of brown belts, black belts. But before was harder. I had to like create my own training and like set scenarios where I would like really have to push myself. But at Kyle's, I don't need that because they already offer me that. Like everyone is really good. So it's easier to achieve like bigger accomplishments if you're in an environment that also has the same goals as you. Before, like I feel like I was kind of the only one in my academy who wanted to reach. And now like I'm training in a place where everyone wants to get there. So if they're going towards a major goal, like a major tournament, and I'm surrounded by people like that, it's easier for me to reach my goal as well, I feel.
That sounds familiar, huh?
Yes, I think it's very familiar.
He also learned a lot from you.
Yes, he learns a lot from me.
No, but I can say that from the last 2 days, I think his style of teaching has also improved a lot.
Yeah, improved a lot.
I mean it as a compliment, but the last time and the even previous one, it was way more like you can guys do this, but we no one here knew the possibilities of the position, so we basically didn't need a lot of details.
But can you
But
think
it's
that
different now.
also because we learn the way Caio is doing it, and also we teach in that regard,
That's what I
is
think,
something
it's
like
making him a
like
better.
yeah, but it's
teacher.
easier for us to learn from someone like he's doing now, the way he's doing it, because we are doing the same.
Like, you know what Mason said? I can tell when people have trained with Caio. Probably it's something like that. Where if we build the jiu-jitsu with the same tools, we know probably what he means in a scenario, and
Yeah.
it's easier for us to understand him and apply stuff. You know.
Yeah, I tried a few fundamental techniques today, and some of them are not working. I'm gonna throw them away.
No, you just had a bad.
But
day.
I
You had a bad day.
managed
just
to,
left.
I managed to finish one of the techniques, which saved me for another 20 seconds.
Yeah,
but
but you probably
it's
got.
working. It's working, guys. It's working.
You got
Keep doing.
he got his foot for a mount, and then he took you back. That's what you mean, huh?
No,
That doesn't count.
no, it was a back take, and I did the fundamental escape to single leg. And
Were you
he-
happy? Did you feel happy at that point?
I said, "Oh fuck,
Oh,
yes."
I'm done for today.
Yes,
I can
but I
retire.
can
That's so
tell
weird.
he kind of released the position a little bit. So I don't know which one is right. I mean, either I'm very good,
Yeah, that's
he's
probably
very
it.
bad, or he's very generous God.
No, it's the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, of course. I know it's first time. Okay, so when you started teaching and training with Caio, I know before that you were having exams and were having kind of your structure, because your school is very good, also like management wise, building wise, program wise. Like I think it's one of the it's world class jiu-jitsu school. You have everything that nowadays most of the schools are doing and building. You have waiting area, you have a reception, you have a shop, you have a place to train, lift weights, you have a small mat for kids or for beginners, introductory classes, and you have a big mat. So do you think that something changed regarding the way you were teaching and treating your students after you started working with CTA? And like you were having exams, but what is there any difference, and why you think exams are good? Is everyone in Brazil doing exams? Like I want to understand, because people in Bulgaria are kind of how to say it.
They're looking into the exams like most of people in jiu-jitsu. Back when you first came to Bulgaria, it was even it was a blasphemy to ask about anything about belts. If you ask something, you would have gotten shot down, and don't ask me stuff like that. So people didn't speak about belts as much. Maybe if someone did, he was usually the head of the school or whatever, he needed it. But it still looked here as karate stuff, you know. And people are,
Yeah, I think we are the only ones who is
I don't
doing
think
exams
many
now.
other gyms do it. Did you have exams at your school before?
Yes, kind of, but
So that's
1
like,
year.
is it
once a
normal
year.
in Brazil?
So
to do?
when like my brother teaches since 2000 and
Which brother you like?
the middle brother half.
Okay. Yeah. Did you know he has two brothers?
Yes, I know.
I
The
didn't know.
sestra- the
He's
sestra-
only speaking about one of his brothers.
Yeah, because the other
Because
one
they
is not
wanna-
training jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not
no,
related
he
to
says no one
So
cares
he's
about
not my
him.
true brother, you know.
His half brother.
Yeah.
No, actually, everything started because of the older brother, because of Marcelo, because he started.
The one who
training-
is not training.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he started in '98, and then he brought half in '99.
Oh, first year of the world.
Yeah,
or
and
it
then
was
he brought
97.
then we
98.
97, I think.
Ni-
And then
97, okay.
and then he brought half in '99. But my older brother, he had like a knee injury, and he couldn't train because he was a barber working at my father's barber shop. And he was like, I either do surgery so I can train jiu-jitsu, or I stop training jiu-jitsu and I can work. And then he stopped, and half got into it and never stopped. And then he like got promoted to blue like after 4 years, I think, and started teaching classes.
Oh,
So
poor
that
guy.
was like 2003. So he has been teaching for 20 years. I've been teaching for 15 years. And when we both started, it was like no methods at all. It was like pretty random. Monday we're teaching takedowns. Tuesday we're teaching sweeps. Wednesday we're teaching back takes. Everything was like pretty separate. And we felt like our students weren't learning anything because it was hard to link things because they were all like I said, random things. You cannot like
stuff.
yeah. And we felt like our students are not getting any better. Like we had like some Brazilian nationals champion and stuff, but you know, just because they really had the desire and the fire and the passion for it, but not because they were like super talented or super like skilled level. And I remember like once in a while my brother was gathering the group and asking them like kind of a test. Okay, I want to see some techniques. I want to see what you guys got, what you know. And one day he was asking,
Was that sparring course or just technique?
no, just
showing.
techniques
Okay.
to see if they knew. And he was like asking a guy that liked it to do guard pass, like, oh,
Was
show
he
me-
already a black belt or no?
No, he was brown belt if I'm not wrong. He was brown, I was purple when he started doing that. And he was like picking some random students, like some blue belts. Hey, show me 10 guard passes, like anything that you want. And the guy was a guard passer, so he should know at least 10 guard passes. And then some people were able to, some people were not. And I remember one time he asked a guy to do like a X guard sweep. And the guy was already like a blue belt, very tough training partner, and he couldn't even set up the X guard. And we're both like kind of frustrated, like, man, what are we doing wrong? Like, why is this guy, like, he cannot even set up the guard? This is kind of a shame because imagine if he visit another academy, he's going to be representing us and he won't be able to do like basic stuff. And that's when we first started thinking about testing. But we also had that old mentality like, do we really want to do this? Does it make sense? And we kept on like thinking about. And then years later, we introduced our students to the test. But first, we're testing based on,
And you were back then, you were under checkmate or no?
I don't remember
yet.
exactly which year we started testing. Was a
Are
little...
they having tests in
You-
checkmate and Zenith or?
No. In Zenith, I'm not sure. In Checkmate, I don't remember them having because I've been to some of their belt ceremonies and there was just like because of people deserving like the belt. But I was already a black belt and that was a little after we opened our academy, which was in 2013. So we either started testing 13, 14 or 15, something around that gap. And before was like, we're asking for stripes and for belts, different techniques, pretty much everything about jiu-jitsu, but including techniques that were sometimes a little too basic for higher belts and a little too advanced for white belts. So the structure of the thing wasn't really good. And then after I joined Caio, I saw the way he was doing and I changed some things in my academy. Like we don't copy 100%. I copied some things and I made it some things a little different than his way, but it's pretty similar nowadays. And another thing that changed in our way of teaching in our academy from before and now is because before we didn't feel the necessity of splitting the group very much because we had like a big mat area and all we wanted was like pictures with a lot of people. So we're like putting everyone together. From white to black, everyone was in the same group, same class. But we felt like the same way. Some classes were like too basic for the higher belts. Some classes were too advanced for the white belts. And they were all mixed up. And we're like, man, today was too hard. Like half of the group couldn't get the techniques. Then the other day, today was too basic. The brown and black belts were bored because they were like, really? You're showing me that? So we decided like, we better start splitting the group. But that's something that my brother initially was kind of against because he was like, but then our pictures are going to be like less people. Our classes are going to be less people. And it's going to feel like we're failing. Because before we put like 50, 60, 80 people on the mats and now we're going to have like groups of 20, groups of 30 max. And we're like, yeah, but the class itself is going to make more sense because the students are going to be able to perform the techniques that we're showing because then we're going to be splitting by beginners class, fundamentals class, advanced class. So like if you want to learn some advanced stuff, you know which class to attend. Before was like, I don't know what they're gonna show today. It might be too basic, it might be too advanced. So now our structure is a little more, not a little, like really well, like set, well done, you know.
So you think that exams are actually good thing for a Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah.
academy?
Yeah, because we get to see, like, before me and my brother were promoting basically based
On money.
No, based on their
That's
level.
Only you do that.
Yeah.
No, based on their level. We're like, oh man, come on, this guy is
I
really
think
good.
that
This
guy
girl
is
is really
definitely
good.
good.
Yeah, like, come on, I've been to several gyms. I know the level, like what a blue belt should look like, what at least like more or less. Of course, there are exceptions, but what a blue belt should look like, and what a purple belt should look like. So we're like just giving them when we felt like they deserve. But now we have more criterias. So it's based on discipline, it's based on respect, it's based on the amount of classes, based on
Oh,
the
now you're
level.
expecting some values from people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We always did.
What would you say to someone? I mean, a BJJ practitioner. I'm not a school owner, not a teacher. Why would an exam make them a better jiu-jitsu player? Why would it make them understand jiu-jitsu better?
Because it's gonna
Why would they benefit from?
You will-
Let's say they fail, or they win at the exam. What's the outcome?
it will force them to study jiu-jitsu. They're not gonna just wait and get promoted because
They've been there.
yeah. Like, oh, I've been training for like 4 years. It's time for me to get my belt. Because he's kind of he kind of feels sorry for me, like, oh, this guy's like still coming, like I'm gonna promote him because
And I can't even look at you anymore.
yeah,
You're still
like,
coming.
oh, you
Let's go.
can't be a white belt forever.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm gonna give you no. Like now, it forced them to study, to understand jiu-jitsu, to like, okay, I know what I need to level up, and it's not only leveling up by having a new belt on my waist, but also by having more skills, like more techniques, knowing more jiu-jitsu, understanding better. So I think it is like very it is a very professional way, and it forces people to study and to get better.
Do you know which of not affiliates, but which big schools have them for sure or not? Exactly. I can't recall anyone having them or not having them. It's basically, I think, every school owner decides it or not.
Yeah. So
No affiliate says, maybe Gracie Baja do it.
Gracie Baja they had
yeah,
before and they have now.
I think Alliance also has, but can't like guarantee any other team.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been training for, as you said, almost 20 years. And like for you coming here, we started promoting your visit like probably a month ago. And I tried to push as many people to come and join your classes first, because I know it's going to be useful and it's going to be very, how to say, different. Probably it won't be like a huge difference for some of the people, but in the same time, if you change the perspective, they will be much more motivated after that. And also, as I told them today at the restroom, that I believe people were listening much more carefully, because probably it sounds stupid, but they paid. I mean, they paid some fee for you to be able to come and teach the classes, and they were like just more serious, you know, like they were watching. I can say today's technique at lunch class was a kind of difficult for some of the people, and even though they were listening very carefully and they were close to finish the technique at the end of the class. But do you think that seminars are important for development? And which belt you think you have to stop going to seminars? Are you still doing seminars? Like if there is someone who is coming to Kyle's gym, are you going there?
Yeah. I attended recently I attended
Victor
Felipe
Hugo?
Costas. No,
Okay.
Victor Hugo, I wasn't there, but if I was there, I would for sure go. Before that, we had Natieli. I couldn't go because it was same day as promotion. So like me, Professor Kai, Victor were pretty busy with exams. But I still attend seminars. It just depends who, like, because some people, I really like their style. Or I like
but also you're training on a regular base sometimes with Kyle.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to go so many seminars.
Yeah.
But do you think it's good for even black belts to visit seminars and why?
For sure. Like, back in 2014 or 15, I remember attending a wrestling seminar. Actually, it was like a Nogi seminar with Jacob Herman in Santos in Brazil. And that day I learned how to do a proper double leg. So like I was already like training for almost 10 years, a double leg, a basic technique. And before was just like a random way of doing it. And on that seminar, I learned a proper way of doing and succeeding with the takedown, and I already had enough experience and I learned something. So depending who I'm attending, I will always get something. Even if it's just a grip, if it changes my perspective and if it makes me better, for me it's worthwhile. It's worth it.
I remember the last time Gabriel came up, yesterday I was telling the story. I got a private with him about the Coyote footlock. I mean, he showed me a lot of stuff, but it was so simple. I'm not going to tell everyone, so
The secret.
fuck you guys, yeah. But he showed me something which opened up the footlock again, because after, you put a guy in it, like, let's say from the river 10 times, and they stop giving it to you. He showed me something and then it opened it up again. It was really funny. It's so small. Everyone can do it, but without it, to the good guys, I cannot get there.
And he got Kyle's footlock on Yuri and on Mason. They didn't tap, but Mason was forced to fall down, which is something like compared to the guy like him. And also Yuri turned his knee because it was tight.
Really?
Yeah.
Did I do it on Caio? I think I did it on Caio. He was looking at me as, yes, I can see why a lot of people would tap to this, and then he can't.
I can see why a lot of people would tap.
And he was like,
Go for it.
He catch the ankle walk. Kyle was watching. He said, no, go.
He's talking
And
to
it
me.
was
I can see
1
why.
p.m. in the night after he
1
promoted.
a.m.
Oh, sorry, 1 a.m.
Yeah.
After the promotion, Ivan and Sasha were promoted to black belts. It was last year, June, and he was training with them.
No, I thought he was joking. It was 1 a.m. He was like,
1:30, 1 a.m.
no, I said, what now? Do we leave or something? He was like, no, now we train. And I thought he was joking. And I'm jokingly saying that I'm going to warm up. But now I says that guy's serious. He said, no, we're going to train now at 1 a.m. or something. It was crazy.
You guys are not going to make me train at 1 a.m., right?
Yeah, depends. So he got the ankle walk, and Ivan was like doing. He said, "Yeah, you can go. Go. Don't worry, go." And he's like, he said, "Yeah, I can see why people are tapping this, but I can't." And then he
Does that all the time.
Yeah.
What's the deal with CTA and hair?
CTA and what?
CTA affiliates, you, Caio, everyone fixing their hair. Some people can't, but
What the?
For now, I mean.
For now.
he's coming with perfect hairstyle again.
And me too.
Look at you and me. We have to change.
No, look at you. And I'm always telling you, especially before Christmas.
Okay, now I'm going to get kicked out from because of the hairstyle.
That's the most important thing I learned with him.
I think you didn't see the today's reel I posted.
Oh,
Okay.
wait. I need to show Gabriel's hair at the moment so everyone can see it. It's
Today's reel was someone turning one stick, and he's like, it was written, when your hair is not in proper way and everyone is getting out, he's like beating them.
That's Dagestani coach.
Yes,
That
it's
is
very
the
nice.
key.
It's very CTA stuff. Okay, tell us about the future of the jiu-jitsu, how you see it, And what you think is especially for the new generation of competitors, what you think should be changed? And if you were today like 16, 17, 18 years old, what you would do in order to succeed as a competitor?
If I could go back, the only thing I would have changed, because like I've been to very good academies, I had some good coaches in the past, so I don't think I would change that because I had enough structure. But I would have started competing at IBJJF earlier. You know, before was not even IBJJF, was only called like CBJJ. And
CBJJ is like the
Confederação
Brazilian,
Brasileira,
but
yeah.
it's a Brazilian.
It's
Brazilian-
IBJJF in
yeah.
Brazil. Yeah.
Okay.
So like there was Brazilian nationals, other tournaments, and I was never competing at those. So I regret that. So that's the only thing I would have changed in my past. And about the jiu-jitsu in the
But
future.
you mean IBJJF around the world, or but in Brazil it's CBJJ, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you weren't competing so much, or you
I
weren't
wasn't
competing
competing
at
at all. I wasn't.
all? Why?
Before there were other organizations, like I said, and we're like prioritizing
Sofia Open, AGP.
kinda
Okay.
garage open. No, I was like fighting other events. I was fighting all the time. Federation of São Paulo and stuff, but
And why would you didn't compete so much with CBJJ?
mainly like the CBJJ tournaments were located in Rio, and it wasn't that easy for me to travel to Rio.
Okay, before now they have
Everywhere. Yeah, we have like São Paulo Open. We have like opens all around Brazil, like all around. We have around the world, and the main tournaments like Worlds and etc. I couldn't compete because I didn't have money to travel. So it's not easy for me to say that I would change that because the money situation would be the same. So
It depends. It's because you don't know if you're winning more CBJJ tournaments.
yeah,
or-
but the before we didn't had as much eyes
yes.
as we have nowadays.
Yeah,
Like
it
now
wasn't Facebook,
Yeah, now
Reels,
we see a lot of
Instagram.
like yellow belts with tons of attention, orange belts with tons of attention, blue belts, juveniles with tons of attention.
Yeah, I think
before-
Flo helped a lot the
Yeah.
sport, and also IBJJF is always trying to bring something new. Even they are criticized a lot about they're asking too much money. You have memberships, you have competition fees, etc. But still, it's the biggest organization, and the competitiveness inside it's like amazing.
It's the best one, yeah. It's the big stage.
Okay. Why is IBJJF the best one, the biggest stage? Why would you say that people...
Answer this question after you finish the
Yeah, sorry.
competition.
I
part.
think the future is getting better and better for jiu-jitsu prospects because of the events that has been created now. Like before, we didn't had as many super fight events. The prize was like never this big, and it's getting bigger and bigger. So I don't know how it's gonna be in the future, but can't be worse than now. So I think things will only get better, and it's gonna be kind of easier to live the jiu-jitsu lifestyle than now or than before.
Okay, so
So sounds like you don't think that IBJJF are going to get bumped to the side, so they'll be
Not at
still
all.
leading. Okay, why did this happen? Why? Because people here don't know the difference between IBJJF, different.
Open.
They know it, but some of them don't. But so basically, what they know about IBJJF that it's expensive, but they still don't know that it's not okay to call yourself a world champ without having the world title in IBJJF. And
man, they're not even calling
belt.
JT Torres a world champ. Even he's a no-gi world champ. They don't call him world champ in the because he's not with the gi. So actually,
That's not.
No, I mean IBJJF.
That's not right.
Between IBJJF and the smaller federations, why why is IBJJF better, bigger, and established in the people's minds as you have to win there to call yourself something? Why would you say that is? Is it going to change?
I don't think that
Grapplers quests and stuff like that. Where are they between those guys?
I don't think that will change because they have been dominant for so many years that people just feel like the prestige that you get by winning a major at IBJJF is just bigger than everywhere else.
But why is that? Because a lot of people travel to go and compete in IBJJF.
Ne, because the level is ne, brat.
No.
Because the level is I think is higher in general.
Yeah, but why? Why is
Because
the level at IBJJF
the most
Accomplished
accomplished athletes are
competing
there.
Yeah, so they go there, and a lot of people travel to get to the IBJJF Worlds, let's say,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
because it opens up more opportunities for you in jiu-jitsu. Like, oh, you win worlds in, let's say, AGP. Great, you're gonna get a prize and etc. But they're not gonna see you the same way. So they might not ask you for seminars. They might not ask you for a super fight. They might not even recognize you as a world champ. You know. But if you win at IBJJF, everyone will kind of know, and
And
it
this
will
is
be
because of the organization, and also you're one of the main referees for how
not
many
main
years?
referees, but one of the referees. Yeah.
Yeah, but main
there.
referees for many major tournaments. You've been
Yeah.
to many major tournaments. How many years you've been
I've
refereeing?
been refereeing since 16. That was the first time I went to US. That's when I started.
And
That's the guy we always ask. So if we fuck up someone's match, he's
But
responsible.
you know, it's
No,
funny.
okay.
You know, funny. It's funny because I'm telling that we ask Marangoni or we discuss with this and that guy who is like accomplished in both competing and refereeing, and they say, yeah, okay. It's like we are not even trying to learn. And like
Man,
today's we
it's
discussed
hard.
15 minutes
I'm
a
trying
position
to,
we
it's
were
hard, man.
accepting. It's right, but yeah. So I think this is the only way actually the level here in the Eastern Europe can grow. Like the way we are doing it in gaining experience, trying to do our best, learn, teach, and then asking people like you. And when you share, because you're very open to share everything, like not only techniques, but like
My heart.
experience, your heart, your hair.
No, not my. Can't share that.
This is the only way, and then we spread it to the next level. It's the only way to grow. Okay, so do you think that for someone like a younger competitor, and he's like training with you, and you're like a normal, not accomplished teacher, because there are so many schools, especially in States, right? Where teachers are not like world champions. I don't know how many are in San Jose, but probably Kyle is the most accomplished guy in the region, right? But if you train with not so accomplished person, and at one point he's not able to, let's say, beat you, but we can say dominate or even do techniques on you, what you think is the right way to how to say, train, live with that moment for both sides, like for the teacher himself, for the competitor, and also we've been discussing many names you train with, and people are probably familiar with that. At one point they were blue and purple belts who were like
Another level.
It's like a highest level already, but just the belt itself is
Yeah.
different, and still it's like very hard for you to tap them regularly or even to sweep them. Like advantage is like impossible, right? And what should be the behavior of this competitor to his teachers, and in the same time what should be the behavior from the teachers to that competitor? And like share your thoughts about this, because of course everyone is getting older, but you can say that it's not the same like 15 years ago. So it's going to be harder and harder, especially with the younger generation.
I think for the athlete, for the competitor, for the student itself, it's important that he never forget his roots. So when he first started, he could barely do a forward roll. He could barely do a technical stand-up. And that teacher that now it's kind of hard for him to keep up with that talented kid, he was the one teaching the kid patiently, like everything that now he knows. So it's important that the person, the athlete, don't forget that. So like, I'm getting better now. I'm kind of like beating my coach or so. But one day I didn't even knew how to tie my belt, and he helped me out. So it's important that he always stays humble, his feet on the floor, and like knowing where he is. Like, okay, I might be getting even better than my coach, like surpassing him somehow. But the reason why I'm getting so good is because of him. So I think this should be the mentality of the student. And the mentality of the coach should be like happiness. Like, man, I built this little monster like from zero, and now he's like getting better and better, and like even like sometimes beating me up, or it's like hard for me to keep up with him. And try to not stay ahead of that person, but having the experience to keep on helping that person to even achieve a even higher level, because we can say like a lot of names that the student passed the master. Like, do you think, for example, Melky Galvão can keep up with Mika? We know he cannot, and that's okay. Mika is still the same humble guy. He's not gonna treat Melky differently because like, oh, Melky is my coach, but he can't tap me. Like, he knows that.
But he has to treat him like that because it's his father.
Yeah, no, I know, but still,
it's yeah, I understand.
You know what I mean?
Joking.
So he's still the same. He's humble, and he's like whatever his father, and he don't treat him inside the mat as a father. He treats him as a professor, as a master. Whatever his master says, he does, and it's been working. So it's not because like, oh, I'm better than him, I should treat him differently, or I should like. No, he's still the same guy. So that's how I think the thing should be,
And do you think that the teacher, like not the teacher, but like when you're training with lower belts or even with higher belts, but like under your level in some regards, you should always like beat or always submit them, or like what is the right approach for a
For asking for yourself or for Sasha? You're going to say the story with Alex.
Who?
Your student Alex. Who?
No. I'm trying to. Yes, the story is very.
It's very funny.
It's very interesting. It's very, how to say.
Okay, let's say it first, and then we'll.
No. I want to ask, and then when he answers, we can.
Okay.
We can tell the story. Like, what should be the approach when you train with someone who is not at your level? Should you beat the positions every time? Should you give the positions? What you think is the best way? Because sometimes it's hard when you give them too much. It's like, oh, Ivan, you were tapping me like 4 times, and now you're tapping me 2 times, and I think I'm getting better. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, come on.
So, and then is the moment you say, what? I gave you like all the positions today just to train, and you're trying to put your head up and above the ground level. So, of course, it's combined with your previous answer, especially with the being humble, but still, what should be the way, like how Caio is training with people and how you're training with your students nowadays? Is there a difference like between before?
Man, I can't say about Caio because he don't let us do anything. No one. Not even like, it's just a handshake and that's it. That's all he's gonna give you. Everything else, forget about. But the way like I train with my students and has been always the same way, as I would say. Of course, it depends if I'm training to compete or if I'm just training regularly. If I'm training to compete, I'm not gonna give them anything. Like,
so you know that already, yeah. Yeah.
No, he's giving everything. Handshakes, smiles, hugs, jokes.
But if I'm training just like a daily basis, I will find a balance. If I just beat them up every single day, I might frustrate them and they feel like, man, I suck at this. It is not for me, and they will leave. So
It's okay. It's okay. We're not training today. You don't need to look at him. Yeah.
Okay.
and if you give too much, stop being real, because they will never know what they are achieving for real and what you're giving them. And it's important that you keep them on their spot. Like, one day I'm gonna beat you up and I'm gonna tap you like 10 times, just so you know where you're at. And then the other day, if you manage to do something, it's important that you know that I was letting you. And then another day, if you reach something, it's because you got
really
to that. Yeah, you really reached something. It's not because I gave. It's not. So you keep tracking the progress. So it's not too little. It's not too much. You gotta find like balance in between.
I'm telling the story now.
Yes, and we can then close out if you don't have any question, because I think we managed to cover a lot of things, and of course he's gonna be here.
He's going to be here for a year or something.
No, 6 months.
No, it's a
Okay. So the story is as follows. Last time Gabriel was here in 2020. Me and Сашо, както повечето хора го знаят, we're training with Gabriel, and Sasha is coming. He's coming to me. He's sitting down after a few sparrings, and he's like, "Man, I think that guy hates me." And I'm like, "Why?" He says, "He's murdering me. It's not like he's beating me, but that's not normal. Do you think I should ask him if I've done something?" And yesterday we're telling the story to Gabe, and he's like, "No, we were preparing for Europeans. That's why I did it. I mean, I was going hard, but not like anything that special." But Sasha thought that he did something, and Gabriel smashed him.
Yeah,
Who
but
cares, brother?
this is another interesting part of this conversation that he said. And I was thinking both of you guys didn't like me.
Yeah, and he said,
I really thought. No, I mean, I've traveled a lot, and some places that I've been, I feel like people are more like, some of them are kind of scared of talking to me or looking at me or approaching, and I understand that. But some others, I feel like they kind of this guy, And I thought they were like that. Like,
no, it's because we didn't know you that much then, and
And they were
it was a bit weird.
purple and brown belts, like.
Fuck those guys, yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So
Sponsor.
thank you for sharing time with us and your thoughts, because I think it's good to see the different approach, and also I hope that people will learn something from this episode, because I basically how to say learned a lot, or at least confirmed that some of my thoughts were in the right direction.
He learned a lot from you as well.
And yes, of
Don't
course.
forget about that.
And tonight we have another class. Seminars were Saturday and Sunday. The techniques were very good, I think. People were very happy. And they were fully packed, almost 100 people both days. Yeah. So your last thoughts, or probably what can you say is different the last time you visited Bulgaria compare, like, about Twisted? I mean, you were together with us in 2018, 2019, and 2020, and now it's like 3 years later, you're here again. So do you find any differences that we can say it's improved? And yeah,
man,
your final thoughts.
I think since you guys joined CTA as well, you also changed a lot of things, like the same way I changed in my gym in Brazil. So yeah, I can see like some developments. The gym always looked great. The atmosphere were always like great. It was always packed. Like last time, it was pretty much like same. I don't remember how many people.
No,
but
it's
it was
like 60 people, 60, 70 people.
yeah.
Like
The club looks like better now that you guys kind of changed the facility. You welcome people even more than before. And yeah, like there were always some little monsters there, and this time is not different. Like always some surprise.
Yeah, so probably next time we're gonna have more champions, and they will understand where their spot is.
Yeah, and also bigger monsters, not only little
Not
monsters.
little ones.
Not only, yeah. Okay, so that's for today. Thank you once again, and I hope you enjoyed your stay here again.
For sure.
And
you will enjoy the next
we're
day.
gonna make another episode right after you come back, and we can discuss, because I have more questions, but still we want to keep it as
The
short.
public needs to feel the need.
We can make Gabriel a regular on the podcast. It will be
Every
interesting.
Sunday he will be here.
Yeah. Okay, guys,
Reading
thank
the
you.
news.
Please share, like, and comment in all the channels you can watch this, and see you next time.
Благодаря ви, че бяхте с нас с поредния епизод на The Good, The Bad and The Twisted, подкаста на Twisted Jiu Jitsu, и до следващата седмица. Bye!